turned around the Buffalo Bills and their defense, and they don't get a shot. And for me, I think it is more about an owner not necessarily wanting a minority or a black man to be the face of the organization, because these guys can coach, but down on the sideline, they can coach and they know their stuff as well as anybody else. But keep in mind that you have franchises worth billions of dollars, and you got all of these sponsors who are, want to be involved with the team. And I think that there are just some owners who are gun shy about having a minority in that position where he is the face of the organization.
What lessons, particularly from the world of sports, which we all love and are very familiar with, can we take from sports as we try to tackle and improve our equality as a society?
When you think about sports, really sports is, a real microcosm of what society is. How sports is, how you play sports, the hierarchy of the owner, the coach, to the players. It's a certain hierarchy there that you can take into regular life. The whole thing in a nutshell about everything that we do is about understanding, communication. And if we communicate and understand where we are, it's easy to move to where we want to be. And sports does that, for you. I mean, the things that I learned in sports, organization, people might, some of my teammates might say, well, the next thing that he says is being prompt. Well, maybe I wasn't prompt all the time, but I knew why I wasn't prompt, but those are all the things that you have to take in consideration as a person to understand where it is. And I used to like to, talk about taking a wheel, and in that wheel, then there's spokes in the wheel, and each of one of those spokes, has a reason. Figure out your reason, and you figure out where you want to go. Same thing, sports, everyday life.
When we're in the huddle and I call the defensive signal, and when I look into the eyes of those guys in the huddle, I can plainly see that we are all in this thing together, and we're going to do everything that we can do to do our job to win. When you are in a situation like that, doesn't matter whether you're black, white, purple, straight, gay, Catholic, Jewish, whatever, you are a person and you're all in it together, and you're committed to one another. And for me, that's what I think I take away from sports.
I got to be honest, one of my favorite coaches was Mike Brown. Mike Brown with the Cleveland Cavaliers, we took a lot of pride in our defense.
Welcome into Giants Postgame Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz, the official luxury automobile of the New York Football Giants. I'm Madelyn Burke here with Giants Super Bowl champion Shaun O'Hara. And Shaun, what a roller coaster of a finish for this Giants game, the first divisional game for the Giants, falling to the Washington football team 30-29 at FedEx Field.
Madelyn, it felt like a game that the Giants won on multiple occasions, and yet the hearts are just ripped out of Giants fans once again. I think when you look at this game on a macro level, look, the Giants played well enough to win the football game. And at times in this game, it felt like they should have been up by a lot more than they were. But the miscues on defense, the penalties, that's what cost them the game. Even right there at the end, to have a penalty on a missed field goal, it's just, that is devastating to any team. And you're not going to win football games if you're beating yourself, and they found that out again tonight.
Absolutely. Giants fans must have been home yelling wide right, and then seeing that penalty was a heartbreaker. But those last few minutes were very pivotal, and it all started with this James Bradberry interception. What a clutch pick. At just over 2 minutes left in the game, Shaun.
Great route recognition by Bradberry. He saw McLaurin squatting right there, and he just drove on it. You can see right now, he reads that route, and he knows right now I'm jumping this. And great preparation right there, film study, and it all came together for Bradberry, who had a really big night. He and McLaurin were going at it, back and forth, and that was a huge play for Bradberry and for this defense.
And gives this offense another chance with, again, just over 2 minutes left in the game, trailing by 1, puts the ball back in Daniel Jones's hands.
Yeah, and listen, DJ, I mean, he played his heart out tonight. He lost an offensive lineman in Nick Gates. He hung in the pocket. Seemed like things really settled down for him in the second half of this game. But DJ, I mean, with his legs, he did a phenomenal job. And I tell you what, he threw a couple of really nice passes. The drop to Slayton, that would have completely changed the game right there if Slayton catches that ball.
Absolutely. I mean, the Giants get the ball. They go for the field goal. Graham Gano, money per usual. But then the ball is back in Washington's hands. Taylor Heineke brings him down the field. They get into field goal range with under 10 seconds left. And look at this. Look at this. Wide right. Giants fans were celebrating. That was game. The clock hit zeros. It was all over but the crying for Washington. But wait, there's a flag because Dexter Lawrence, you know, he was a little excited. You want to make sure to put the pressure on, but just did a little too soon.
The guy that's closest to the football can never jump. You're right there. You've got the best view, and all you've got to do is just look at it right there through the side of your face mask. So no doubt he was trying to get a good jump, get a good push, but you're rarely going to block a field goal from that position. So, again, just that miscue right there, stubbing your toe. If it was a guy on the outside trying to bend the rim right there, you would understand it, but brutal.
With the game on the line, and then they got the mulligan, they lined up for it, and we all know how it went. But if you don't, this is how it went. Curved right down the middle, and the Washington football team wins it 30-29.
Tough for the defense to see that right there because, you know, when the offense gets you the lead and you go back out there as a defense, they take a lot of pride in, look, we're going to end the game. We're going to get their offense off the field. They had multiple opportunities to do that. There was an opportunity for an interception again by James Bradberry, and they just could not find a way to come up with the play to get the offense off the field.
Well, you mentioned, Shaun, the opportunities. Daniel Jones, he played very well, especially in the second half. It seemed like he settled into himself, got comfortable. This offensive line, which you mentioned, had a lot of recalibrations. But Daniel was making some throws.
Yeah, he was. And look, it started right out of the gate, the very first drive of the game. And then this right here. All of a sudden, Daniel Jones with the legs. And there was the first run, and he piled on a couple of other ones. There's a nice strike to Sterling Shepard, who had another big game. And, you know, when you look at the way he spread it around, I mean, there's his stats for the night right there. It should have been more. Like I said, the throw to Darius Slayton was right there. That's a play that Darius Slayton makes 9 times out of 10. He makes that catch. Look, you're looking at 300 yards and another touchdown. And Daniel Jones had a touchdown run called back because, if you ask me, a bogus holding call on C.J. Board. He had his hands inside, and it was not going to make an impact on the play. And yet they threw the laundry.
And as crazy as this game ended, the start was pretty strong as well. The Giants came out aggressive. Daniel Jones was throwing it. He was spreading it out. He was airing it out. This opening drive of the game, the Giants marched down the field and wasted no time getting into the end zone, scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, it's just what the doctor ordered right here. He finds Rudolph early on. Here's this play action, little RPO, if you will, to Galladay. Getting everybody involved, giving everybody a touch, building the confidence. And then, of course, this right here, the quarterback draw. I was sitting next to Fuchs. He called it. He goes, this is quarterback draw all the way. He knew it. The defense didn't hear him, thankfully.
Right open, yeah. Throwing it down the field, and then Daniel Jones runs it in, scores, gets the Giants on the board early. And you know what? That's what we love to see. Start strong is one of the points of emphasis for this team. Finish strong is another one. They're getting that. They're working through it. All right, we got a lot more coming up on the show. Stay with us. We'll hear from head coach Joe Judge. That and much more after the break as Giants Postgame Live presented by Mercedes-Benz continues after this.
Over the years, Mercedes-Benz has patented thousands of safety innovations, crash tested so many cars we've stopped counting. and built our most punishing test facility yet in our effort to build the world's safest cars. We've created crumple zones and autonomous braking, active lane keeping assist, and blind spot assist. We've introduced airbags, side curtain airbags, and now the first ever rear-mounted front impact airbags. All in the hope that you never need any of it.
All right, team, time to bet NFL games. Confidence.
I'm feeling a parlay with more legs than a spider.
So 9 legs?
Roll the dice, baby.
Indecision?
We pick one home favorite. I abstain.
You can't abstain.
Boring! 6-leg parlay, 2 home dogs, all hitting the over. Boom!
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and feel the NFL action like never before.
One thing we know for sure is things are always changing. So there are still reasons you may need COVID-19 testing. And Quest has options for the whole family, available at no cost to you. Simply schedule a test online for a nearby location and get your test results back as soon as the next day. Millions of people like you have trusted Quest for their COVID-19 testing. So schedule your test today at questcovid19.com. That's questcovid19.com.
Iced tea, stone cold. Calling on everyone to turn to cold washing with Tide.
Hello, my name is Iced Tea. Can you spare a few seconds to learn about cold water washing with Tide?
Hi, my name is Steve. Did you know washing in cold can save you $100 a year on your energy bill?
Why wouldn't you turn to cold? It helps the environment.
What? Because Stone Cold said so. Plus, Tide cleans great in cold.
This was a cold call.
Every day, nearly 2 million customers across New Jersey rely on PSE&G to provide natural gas. And every day, PSE&G is committed to doing it safely. That includes making sure you know what to do if you smell gas. A natural gas leak smells like rotten eggs. If you suspect a gas leak, leave your home immediately. Get far away, then call 911. Remember, smell, leave, call. Protect the ones you love. Learn more at pseg.com/gas safety.
How we doing?
Fabulous.
Wonder how the firm's doing without its fearless leader. You sure you want to leave that all behind?
Yeah.
Stay restless with the icon that does the same. The RX, crafted by Lexus.
Lease the 2021 RX 350 all-wheel drive for $469 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
MSGP.
Let's go. You already know what time it is, Monica.
All right, let's keep it moving. Woo! And this one is timely.
Defend the ollie and the oop in the same single play.
We're switching gears from the hardwood. Let's talk Jets quarterback.
Give me good news. Give me good news.
No.
But yeah, shout out to Bitcoin. Get your money, Saquon. You be all right. Yeah. But,
okay, y'all aggressive with the buzzer.
We're not wishy-washy. Take a stand.
All right, we're going to argue in a commercial break.
Let's keep it real, New York City.
Tonight's scoring drive of the game is brought to you by Investors Bank. Get the official New York Giants checking account only from Investors Bank. Visit investorsbank.com/Giants for more details. Drive the game, we take it to the third quarter, starting out second and 19. Daniel Jones to Kenny Golladay for a 12-yard gain. Then 3rd and 7, Shep. Nice grab for 19 yards and moves the chains. 2nd and 10, shotgun. Daniel Jones passes it deep to Darius Slayton. What a dime for a 33-yard touchdown. That drive, 7 plays, 65 yards, took 2 minutes and 50 seconds off the clock, and finished with that 33-yard touchdown reception from Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton finished the day with 3 catches for 54 yards and that touchdown right there. Shaun, that was the Investors Bank drive of the game. And Slayton, you know, we saw Daniel Jones getting a little comfortable, airing it out, it seemed. We had some big throws from him. There was another one, of course, that we referenced earlier in the show that was just on his hands. Darius Slayton was wide open, and you know he's thinking about this when you know he wants it back, because What a bomb that was.
Yeah, it's a beautiful throw right there by Daniel Jones. And like I said before, 9 times out of 10, Darius Slayton comes down with that ball, and it's that over-the-shoulder catch that he actually caught over the other shoulder for the other touchdown in the corner of the end zone. They've had such a great relationship. You go back to their rookie years. They came in together. Daniel Jones threw 8 touchdown passes to Slayton as a rookie. So they absolutely have some great chemistry. And no doubt, when you get a home run ball like that, a busted coverage defensively, and Daniel Jones sees it and you take advantage of it, you have to finish that. You cannot let that ball drop. You can't miss out on those opportunities. They only come a couple times in a game.
Absolutely. You know, Darius Slayton's probably down on himself more than anyone else will be, but you know what? He made up for it. We got a lot of ball game left, a lot of season left. All right, we're going to throw it down to FedEx Field, where Bob Papa, Carl Banks, and Howard Cross were on the call for this game. Let's get their perspective, fellas. All right, we got some technical difficulties. That's live television, people. You know, audio, video.
I see Bob. He's doing sign language. I don't know. We'll get the audio.
Honestly, I think he needs some vocal rest. He's been on the call all night. We got to get him some hot tea before we get him on this show, because what a call that last part of this game must have been as well for him.
I mean, just a thriller. And for Bob and Carl up in the booth and Howard down on the sideline, you know, back and forth, back and forth. I mean, this is the game that you want. Obviously, you wish it was a different ending, but when you think about this Giants-Washington football team, the rivalry, the Thursday night football aspect of it, there was a lot of energy there in the crowd. You could hear, I mean, the noise was a factor at times. I think when you look at offensively, the one thing I'm always looking at, Madelyn, the quarterback center exchange. So
yes.
Just a quick point about the fact that Billy Price, who they just traded for 14 days ago, makes his first start. No issues whatsoever with the quarterback center exchange. That was pretty impressive.
That was pretty impressive. All right, let's try this one again, shall we? Let's head it down to the fellas out of FedEx Field.
Madelyn, there have been some bad losses over the last couple of years for the Giants, but this one goes right to the top of the class. And Carl, you know, you talk about this team trying to become a better football team, but they're not there yet. And you can't make this many mistakes and expect to win a football game in the NFL.
No, you can't, Bob. And in terms of this victory, they earned this one. They did everything they could to earn this defeat, I should say, because all the way up until the last play of the game, where the kicker misses a kick, they are offsides. So you can't play that style of football and think you're going to dodge the results and win a game.
I just think that, you know, besides the mistakes, you got to keep in the moment. You can't let things get away from you. You had a couple of times you could have won the game. The drop touchdown pass, the call back on the touchdown run, then a couple other penalties here and there. It's tough. I mean, when you got to win close games, you got to get used to doing it.
Well, I mean, there's 8 points right there. You get the Daniel Jones run off the board, you get 3. And then you get the drop ball by Slayton that you wind up settling for a field goal. But they're not good enough to overcome these things. And Carl, I have to ask you this question because, look, coming into the season, we wondered if this offensive line was going to be good enough. And they did a decent job in this game protecting Daniel Jones. The running game still is non-existent. But the defense was the thing that we thought this team would hang their hat on based on last year. Carl, it has really not been good.
It has not been good. That's an understatement. And then when you look at on a drive they need to get a stop, it was 2 plays, boom, boom, and they're in the end zone. So this is something that they've got to examine. I mean, they have the players are proven to be better than what they're playing. I'm not talking about guys you don't know a lot about. There's too much talent on this defense to be playing this poorly, and they've got to figure out the schematics that work.
And Howard, the other thing that ties into what Carl's talking about is we wondered about the pass rush. And we've heard about Lorenzo Carter and O'Shane Ximines, and they drafted Azeez Ojulari, who got a sack early in the game. But when the Giants rushed 4, Heineke just sat back there and waited for somebody to get open. They have to do a better job up front.
They're going to have to find a way to get to them, get pressure up the middle, pressure off the edge, pressure from somewhere. And they can't do it by just like bringing safeties and rushing linebackers on also. They're going to have to figure out a way for those 4 down guys. They're going to have to find some rush and some pressure.
All right, the Giants lose a heartbreaker as Dustin Hopkins missed a field goal to win the game, but Dexter Lawrence, who was playing over the ball, jumped off sides to give Washington another chance, and Hopkins kicks the game winner as the Giants fall to 0-2 for the 5th consecutive year, and the Giants' 5-game winning streak against Washington is over. More to come here from FedEx Field. All the post-game reaction. Keep it locked into MSG Network and Giants.com. You're watching Giants Post-Game Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz.
You gonna do that every time?
Whenever people ask for Smirnoff cocktails, Anthony Anvil Anderson always comes through with the big plays.
No one calls you that.
They do.
Get the official New York Giants checking account only from Investors Bank. Get a 20% discount online at the Giants shop. Cell phone and ID theft protection. Plus, you can earn up to $250.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built a Ford F-150 STX for everyone. With an 8-inch touchscreen, Sync 4, available 20-inch wheels, and an available EcoBoost engine with 325 horsepower, it's value that's built Ford tough. And it's built for America. Ford F-150 STX. Drive one today. Right now, get the 2021 Ford F-150 with 0% financing for 72 months. View more offers at buyfordnow.com.
All right, teams, time to bet NFL games. Confidence.
I'm feeling a parlay with more legs than a spider.
So 9 legs?
Roll the dice, baby.
Indecision?
We pick one home favorite. I abstain.
You can't abstain.
Boring! 6-leg parlay, 2 home dogs, all hitting the over. Boom!
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and feel the NFL action like never before.
One thing we know for sure is things are always changing. So there are still reasons you may need COVID-19 testing. And Quest has options for the whole family, available at no cost to you. Simply schedule a test online for a nearby location and get your test results back as soon as the next day. Millions of people like you have trusted Quest for their COVID-19 testing. So schedule your test today at questcovid19.com. That's questcovid19.com.
When you're hungry, you're not going to let 5,000 feet of mountain get in your way. And if it tries, that's what our lineup of exceptionally capable all-wheel drive SUVs is for. After all, we take this pretty seriously. The SUVs and the dinner.
Have the most.
My music is powered by the latest technology. To get the crowd going in the club, or in my Jaguar playing the track for the first time. It's always one touch away from an amazing experience. Jaguar, 16 speakers, one powerful sound. The F-Pace, how Jaguar makes an SUV.
Dignity. It demands that you can do simple things with ease while managing chronic pain. It demands a better understanding of your glucose levels so you can enjoy movie night, and that your heart stays connected to your doctor so you know it's beating as it should. At Abbott, we fight for these moments, developing life-changing technologies because dignity demands it.
Thursday Night Football is brought to you by Bud Light Platinum. As we take a look at the beautiful Washington Monument, the Giants went down to Washington and fell to the Washington football team 30-29. Welcome back to Giants Post-Game Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz. We're going to head down to FedEx Field, where head coach Joe Judge is addressing the media.
What's going on, guys? What? All right, look, first off, look, got to give credit to that team. They did a good job down the stretch. Obviously, did more than we did to win the game. Look, I saw a lot of improvement from our team in the last 4 days getting ready for this game. I'm proud of the way they responded off the last game, but there's a lot of things to build on going forward. But obviously in a game like this, you can see in the margin of error with the score, it's a tight game. You know, there's a lot of little things that add up over time. We got to keep cleaning some things up as a team, keep moving forward, keep building on the positives, eliminate the negatives, and put us on course to be where we're going to be as a team. That being said, I'll open up to any questions you have.
Joe, you're often preaching about discipline and not making mistakes in key moments, and you've got a player line up offsides on a field goal that would have ended the game. I mean, how do you explain that, I guess?
Well, we have to address it and just make sure that we keep putting players in position to prepare them properly and make sure we can work it and execute it the right way when it comes up right there. Obviously, something we don't want to have, something that's not acceptable. But, look, we're not going to turn around and put this game on any one player or one play. There's enough things we can clean up as a team. We can play better going forward. So we're not going to go ahead and isolate one incident and say that's the difference in the game right there. So we got to make sure we do a lot of things better for 60 minutes.
Joe, after the interception by Bradberry,
Yep.
Are you guys intentionally conservative on offense on that?
Well, there's a point right there. I want to make them use their timeouts, put them in a 2-minute drive situation right there. Third down, we had an opportunity for a completion right there to extend it over the middle right there. I thought it was a good shot. And, you know, look, you got to stand up. You got to make the 2-minute drive on either side of the ball you got right there. So coming out 2 minutes, what we prepare for, what we practice for. So got to execute better, obviously, in that situation. They're a good team. You know, you got to give credit to those guys on the other side. They executed when they had to.
Joe, you mentioned it, and it wasn't just the one play. Obviously, your defense collapsed twice down the stretch there to allow scores late. So what do you make of how that group performed late in the game?
Well, let me look at tape before I make a full assessment of anything right there. I'm not going to make any blanket statements right now that's going to go ahead and throw anything on any phase of the ball right now. I see a lot of positive things going forward. You know, there's some things we got to improve on and go forward, but I see a lot of encouraging things. That being said, there's going to be a lot that we got to correct off and take a step forward going fast.
You know, the TV cameras showed Kenny Galladay apparently screaming at Daniel Jones on the sideline. I'm curious if you know what that was about and if you expected this spillover.
I just saw these guys hugging in the locker room a second ago. That's the first I've heard of it, so I'm not, you know.
Joe, there are losses and there are gut punches. Are you worried about how your team might respond to a loss like this?
No, we got a resilient team. We got a mentally tough team. We got a team that sticks together. We got a group of men who look each other in the eye and tell them the truth. You know, we're very big on telling our players the truth. We're very big on having the players be honest with each other, with us as coaches. You know, that's what separates a lot of teams right there in terms of can you overcome some adversity. You know, we talk a lot about that as a team. You know, the honesty is really what's on tape. We're going to be able to see a lot of things we did good. I mean, things we're going to have to see on there that are not good. That we got to correct, we got to clean up. The important thing this time of year and all times of year, but as we keep improving going forward. We're a better team today than we were 4 days ago. Now, was it good enough? No, it wasn't. So do we have to improve a lot? Absolutely. We got to coach better. Also, to execute better down the situations, down the game. All right, but in terms of, you know, our locker room, I got faith in the men in that locker room. I got faith in the coaching staff keeping these guys moving in the right direction. Our improvement as a team never changes, or our focus as a team never changes, and that's on improvement.
For all the emphasis you put on situational football, how disappointing is it that you guys didn't execute in a bunch of situations late in the game where you could have?
Well, that's kind of part of it, too. We prepare for it. We got to make sure we do a better job preparing for it so we can execute going forward down the stretch. So it's obviously something we're going to keep on emphasizing. I mean, situational football is a huge part if I have success in this league. It's not about just calling battleship-type plays and throwing things out there. So we got to make sure we put in position, we capitalize on the plays.
What do you say next year about that play in particular?
Same thing I'd say to any player on any penalty. You know, pre-snap focus, post-snap technique, you know, discipline how we handle things. You know, the biggest thing for him is it's going to be a tough lesson. It's a lesson you got to learn. A lesson we all have to learn, you know, as a team, that we don't repeat the mistakes one by one. We've got to see that, make sure we clean it up. These are obviously things we've talked about, coached, but obviously we have to do a better job, you know, in the future going forward. But look, I'm not going to put this on Dex, and I don't want to put this on Dex. Okay, Deck's a good player. He's a strong piece of our locker room. He's a good teammate. He's fun to coach. He's productive for us as a player. I'm not going to put this on Dexter Lawrence, okay? There's things we all have to do better as professionals, all right, but I'm not going to put this on any one player or one situation.
I know you won't, but the game was over. You would have won the game if you didn't go outside. He's going to, you know, have a lot of people asking him about what happened on that play and everything. You do grasp that, right? I mean, that part of it. That
Jordan, I got you.
He could be under heavy pressure because he made a mistake that ultimately decided the game at the end.
And I'd say in terms of that pressure, guys, we all get paid pretty well. Pressure's part of the job, right? I mean, my son's playing high school football right now. He didn't quite have that pressure because he's out there playing for fun. Every coach and every player, we're paid very well at this level. It's the ultimate level of competition. It's the ultimate team sport. There's pressure for all of us. We can handle that. We prepare to handle that. We talk a lot throughout our team building, our leadership building, that when things like this happen, we respond the right way as a team. So in terms of the pressure he'll be under, that's nothing that we don't prepare for already.
you get a chance to talk to Nick?
You know, I talked to him on the field, obviously. I haven't talked to him since he left. You know, I don't know the final diagnosis. I know it didn't look good. You know, I think the team, you know, had a little bit of gut punch seeing a guy like that as a strong leader. I thought they rallied and responded the right way for him. Look, I can't say enough about Nick in terms of what he does for the team, you know, and how he works, the energy and spirit and competitiveness he brings on a daily basis. He's an all-in team guy, okay? He's a very selfless player. He's been a great leader for this team. You know, he's a guy that had to learn center last year. He jumped in with no prior experience, did everything he could as a center, came out, started center last week. We felt it was the best move right now with our offensive line makeup to see if he could play the left guard for us. Went out there, didn't once blink. Whatever's best for the team, coach, that's what I'm going to do. You know, went out there, played. He had an unfortunate injury. You know, injuries are part of the game, but it's a part of the game you'd like not to have, to be honest with you. You don't want any player on either team to get hurt. So in terms of Nick, obviously, you know, our thoughts and prayers are with him. I can't give you any final diagnosis at this point. Look,
Is he staying here or yeah?
From what I understand, he's going to stay behind. I don't know if that's 100% right now, but what I understood from what I was told initially on the sideline, that was the plan right there. So we'll see where he's at in terms of everything. Look, we're going to obviously, you know, pray and hope for the best. And then, you know, I know we'll give him the best medical treatment possible.
Joe, what happened on the touchdown right before halftime? You guys called a timeout. You came out. It just seemed like you weren't lined up right. They had a huge advantage on that side. They ran the ball, too.
Tell him the one I called the timeout on?
You called a timeout. You came back out, and they ran it in.
Yeah, I mean, I got to watch the tape and give you, you know, an exact answer. Obviously, we weren't in the right place for the right fit. We got to make sure we get that right. In terms of timeout, that was just, you know, the situation. Make sure we can go ahead and get a look right there.
Joe, I think some of your fans will look at this and say, all things considered, they have not felt a gut punch loss like this in quite some time between Nick going down and between the way that game ended with all the back and forth. What are your emotions coming out of that game?
Well, look, everybody goes through emotions in every game. There's highs and lows. That's kind of the great thing about this sport, right? You get the opportunity as a coach and a player to sit on, you know, sideline for 3 hours and truly go through the highs and the lows and stay together as a team. Look, my focus as a coach is always stay here. I say this all the time, and you guys kind of think I'm just giving you coach speak. Like, you come in my meeting on Monday when these guys get back, regardless what the result was tonight, the meeting's the same meeting. This is what we did positive. This is what we have to correct. This is where we're going to be going forward. This is the focus as a team. You got to keep it here. Look, I understand on the outside world, it's that kind of greatest of all time, worst of all time. It's that emotional roller coaster. Everyone wants to go ahead and it's doomsday, you know, or you're the greatest thing in the world every week, right? That's just the nature of it. You got a week in between games. It ain't Major League Baseball. It's not the NBA. It's in the deal where you turn around next day and you just go ahead and you play. So we got to go ahead and understand the truth is on the tape. The things we have to correct, they're right there in front of us. The things we have to do better as a coaching staff to put our players in better position, they're right there on the tape. The guys we're going to use to have success, they're right there in our locker room. You know, we got to make sure we just keep focused on what the process is to do it. You know, in terms of the fans having a gut punch, yeah, look, I love the fans. I appreciate all their support. And the fact that they're having a gut punch on that, you know, that means they're invested with us right there. It means they're you know, staying with us right there and watching us fight and battle and following some of those emotional highs and lows of the game. Look, what I can tell the fans is this. You're going to keep seeing a team that's going to fight for 60 full minutes. You're going to see a team, we're going to correct those disappointing things you saw on tape tonight. Don't worry about that as a fan base. Okay, that's my job. I'm going to get that thing done. Don't worry about that. Okay, but I appreciate their support. I don't ask them for any cheers that aren't earned. I don't ask them for any pats on the back. We don't rely or need that. Look, this is New York. The reality is it's supposed to be a tough place to play and coach. That's the nature of what it is. You know, you want to play somewhere easy, I'm sure there's plenty of other cities you can go out there where they don't really care that much about football and their sports teams, where by Tuesday they forget you even had a game. All right, the reality is the great thing about playing in our city is the fact that they ride high and low every week with you. That's the great thing about our fan base. So, look, it's our job to earn their respect. It's our job to make them cheer. It's our job to bring them back up off these lows. That's what we have to work for every week. I appreciate our support. We had great support today in the stadium. There was a lot of times, I mean, behind our bench at least, you had a significant amount of noise of Giants fans. That's a great feeling. That's a great feeling. Talk to our guys all the time about coming on the road, and it's you versus the world, and it's great when you turn around and you actually do hear your fans travel with you. We have a strong fan base. Obviously, it's a national fan base because, you know, New York's really America's city. That's the reality of what it is. So in terms of the fans emotional, like, look, I'm not sitting here trying to promise you, you know, rainbows and butterflies. The reality is we're going back to work for you. Okay, we're going to go back to work and do everything we can to get this thing right, the right way it needs to be, and keep building this thing to be the team we're going to be down the stretch.
Joe, given how well Daniel was playing and how the defense was struggling, when you guys get the ball back there at the end at their 20, I know you're trying to make them use their timeouts, but do you consider maybe trusting how well Daniel's playing and just go for it, end it?
Yeah, that had nothing to do with not trusting Daniel. It was also trusting our run game as well and trusting the offensive line up front to, you know, open some seams and get it moving. We talk all the time about the strategy of what to do in that situation. That's obviously one of the things that, you go back and forth on. I think ultimately it's, you want to control it as much as you can, ensure the points you have, not put yourself in position for a negative play. Obviously on third down, we threw that ball right there. There's a lot of trust in our offense right there to go ahead and do it. It would have been easy to, go out there and run the ball one more time. And that's not saying that's the right or wrong move. A lot of teams do that, have a lot of success. We've done that before, have plenty of success. So, we felt at that time that was the best thing for us. We had confidence in our run game, confidence in our offensive line, confidence in the quarterback when we called his number on third down. So, in terms of how we do it, we finished that situation there. We had to turn around and play the next situation coming up.
What did you see from Daniel?
Yeah, I saw him do a lot of good things. Get the ball out on time, throw some good accurate passes, throw some good balls in a tight coverage. Obviously push the ball down the field. On Slayton's touchdown, he made a heck of a heads-up check right there. That was Daniel on the line right there communicating with Slay and getting him going right there. He saw something he liked, took advantage of it, and obviously produced points for us. These are things I've been talking about Daniel kind of growing and progressing throughout his career. There's a lot of things that show up right there. I love the way he ran the ball today. Very effective runner for us tonight. Again, that's part of our offense. They did a good job with the ball security, getting down when he had to get down to protect it, getting out of bounds at different times, sliding at other times. So there's a lot of positive things right there. Obviously, he broke the one long run that, we had the penalty to negate the touchdown, but obviously it was a big play for us getting us down there, ended up producing, 3 points instead of the touchdown we wanted. But, some things to clean up on that play from other aspects. But in terms of the way Daniel played tonight, yeah, I thought Daniel came back and responded the right way, had a good game.
Last one.
What do you think the problem was with your pass defense tonight?
Say it one more time.
Your pass defense. Seemed like they really picked up a lot of yards in the air, and when they needed them, they got them.
Well, I think first off, we got to do a better job at that right there, and that's going to come from a lot of different aspects. We'll watch the tape and make sure we get this narrowed down. Me and Pat will have a long train session, going through the tape on the train ride back. That'll obviously be a focus going forward, getting fixed. We got to keep improving as a defense and an offense and a kicking game. You got to give credit to those guys. That quarterback played really good tonight. He's a good quarterback. We try to work to keep this guy inside the pocket and limit some of the loose plays. And I'll say this guy made a lot of good plays down the stretch now. A lot of good plays. They got good talent on the other side. 17-82, these guys are really good players now. Those backs are dangerous. So, obviously, they're a very talented team. I talked about that early in the week. This is not a team that, by any measure, we were going to take lightly. There's a division opponent. They're very talented. And this guy going out there, we knew that he's a very aggressive quarterback getting down the field. So, we got a lot of things we got to clean up as a team overall, but there's a lot of positive to build on going forward. So, my emphasis with the players is go back, get some rest. We're going to get back to work on Monday, and we're going to talk about things we got to clean up and get better as a team. And we got to keep addressing that because, again, at the end of the day, it's about improving week. Okay? The goal is to be the best team you can be at the end of the year. And along the way, you're going to have success doing that. And if you don't do it well enough, you won't have success. So we got to make sure we keep doing things that are necessary for us to have success, not eliminate those opportunities.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Travel safe.
That sound from head coach Joe Judge was brought to you by Ford. We've got a lot more coming up on the program. Stay with us here as Giants Postgame Live presented by Mercedes-Benz continues after this short break. We'll hear from the quarterback, Daniel Jones, that and much more coming up on the program. Don't go anywhere.
It's a wish list on wheels. A choice that requires no explanation. It's where safe and daring seamlessly intersect. It's understated, yet over-delivers. It is truly the Mercedes-Benz of sports sedans. Lease the 2021 C300 sedan for just $449 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Get the official New York Giants checking account only from Investors Bank. Get a 20% discount online at the Giants shop. Cell phone and ID theft protection. Plus, you can earn up to $250.
Every day, nearly 2 million customers across New Jersey rely on PSE&G to provide natural gas. And every day, PSE&G is committed to doing it safely. That includes making sure you know what to do if you smell gas. A natural gas leak smells like rotten eggs. If you suspect a gas leak, leave your home immediately. Get far away, then call 911. Remember, smell, leave, call. Protect the ones you love. Learn more at pseg.com/gas safety.
you bring fresh flavor to your favorite activities with 6,000 varieties of fresh yumminess from Nuts.com, the fresh new way to enjoy the big game, to fuel up with freshness while on the road, to enjoy the fresh outdoors with extra freshness, or simply freshen up your snack on. Nuts, dried fruits, pretzels, sesame sticks, sweets, and other treats, including organic and gluten-free varieties. Nuts.com. Do yourself a favor with the flavor of freshness. Free shipping with your first order.
Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz, the official luxury automobile of the New York Football Giants. Shaun, the Giants went down to the nation's capital, lost the division game, but they had a lot of adversity in doing so as well. Coming into tonight's game, left guard Shane Lemieux was ruled out. He was placed on injured reserve. Center Nick Gates moves over to left guard. They got Price in at center, changing things up. And then, you know, early in the game, Nick Gates goes out with a leg fracture, gets carted off the field. Huge loss for this offensive line and for captain as well.
Yeah, big loss for Nick Gates. You know, he's been the center for the last 2 years, basically. And you mentioned it, just voted captain by his teammates. So absolutely a huge blow for him. Look, he's a tough guy right here. I mean, here he is. He's got the air cast on his leg, and the entire team's over there, you know, let him know they're thinking about him, and he's telling them, go get the win, go kick some butt. Nick Gates is definitely a tough guy. It's not an ideal situation for the Giants to go and play the Washington football team, who have one of the best defensive fronts in the NFL, and you're going to have an O-line shift. So you mentioned Billy Price. They just traded for him 2 weeks ago from the Cincinnati Bengals. He moves in and makes his first start for the Giants at center. They move Nick Gates out at left guard. We heard Joe Judge talking about, look, I asked Nick Gates to move over to guard. He said, Coach, whatever you need.
Yeah, effusively praising him and what he brings to the team. And as we could see by every member of this Giants team going over there to just, you know, say, hey, you know what, we're with you in this. And it just kind of shows the impact he has on this locker room and the relationship he has with this team. All right, well, we're going to hear now from the quarterback, Daniel Jones, down at FedEx Field.
Yeah, I mean, those are situations where you need to run the ball to make sure the clock goes. And they're some of our best runs. So certainly agree, and we've got to execute better.
What do you see on that third down play?
Yeah, they man-to-man coverage, dropped out someone underneath, and you know, got to give Shepard a better ball there.
You're all right with throwing that short of the sticks there. Obviously, you're going to need him to make something after it in order to extend that drive.
Yeah. Catch and run or you know, catch and break a tackle, but yeah, we're all right with that.
Daniel, the TV camera showed Kenny Golladay yelling at you on the sideline near the end of the game. What happened there?
Yeah, you know, I think you know, he was frustrated at the situation. I don't really think it was to me or anyone in particular. So I think you know, we're all good and love Kenny. I thought he played hard and you know, did a lot of good things out there.
By this situation, what do you mean? A particular play in the game, or?
Yeah, just plays and you know, I got to do a better job finding him in some places and you know, we'll work through it.
So what was he yelling? What was he saying?
He was just frustrated with the situation and you know, we'll be better from it.
That sound from quarterback Daniel Jones was brought to you by Ford. And Shaun, there were a lot of positives we saw from Daniel Jones today. 0 turnovers for this Giants team. He got the run game going. He himself was using Danny Wheels out there. And there was one play in particular, a 58-yard touchdown run. Look at these wheels, but you know what? It wouldn't be a touchdown. He did go all the way into the end zone. 58 yards. Didn't even trip. He made it. He got all the way there. But then you see the laundry on the field, and you're like, what happened? And this right here, C.J. Board called for holding on this play.
Look, I'm a former offensive lineman. That's clutching. I mean, his left hand had a little handful of jerseys, but look at the left hand. It's on the number right there. I mean, if the hand was way outside and he was yanking a guy, that guy was not going to make the tackle. So to me, as a ticky-tacky call, I don't know how the referees throw the flag given that situation. That guy wasn't going to make the tackle. So no doubt a big play for Daniel Jones. To have that touchdown come off the board was huge because they ended up settling for a field goal on that drive. A 4-point swing, no doubt. But Daniel Jones, his ability to affect the defenses and to impact the running game with his legs is phenomenal. And no doubt he was a force. The Giants rushed for 163 yards tonight and 0 turnovers. Typically, that's a win, but the miscues basically overruled all that.
Right. There were so many moments that you're like, oh, if that would have gone just slightly the other way, a millimeter off, a millimeter here, a millimeter there. But then that's, again, what head coach Joe Judge says. You know what? We're a resilient team. We're going to get back in the lab, get back to work. We got a lot more to come. And we have a lot more to come for you after this short break. Stay with us. We're going to hear from Shepard. As this show goes on, Giants Postgame Live presented by Mercedes-Benz. Coming up more after this.
Iced tea, stone cold. Calling on everyone to turn to cold washing with Tide.
Hello, my name is Iced Tea. Can you spare a few seconds to learn about cold water washing with Tide?
Hi, my name is Steve. Did you know washing in cold can save you $100 a year on your energy bill?
Why wouldn't you turn to cold? It helps the environment.
What? Because Stone Cold said so. Plus, Tide cleans great in cold.
This was a cold call. In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we built the Ford Explorer XLT for everyone. With dual second-row smart charging USB ports, available seating for up to 7, and 20-inch polished aluminum wheels. It's value that's built for America. Ford Explorer XLT. Drive one today. Come into your local Ford store for special lease and financing offers on the adventure-ready Ford Explorer. View more at buyfordnow.com.
You gonna do that every time?
Whenever people ask for Smirnoff cocktails, Anthony Anvil Anderson always comes through with the big plays.
No one calls you that.
They do.
Get the official New York Giants checking account only from Investors Bank. Get a 20% discount online at the Giants shop. Cell phone and ID theft protection. Plus, you can earn up to $250.
This game has gone to show-stopping in short order.
Why bother mastering something? Why hand-tune an audio system? Why include the most advanced active safety system in its class, Standard? Because when you want to create an entirely new feeling, the difference between excellence and mastery is all the difference in the world. The Lexus ES. Every curve, every innovation, every feeling, a product of mastery.
Lease the 2021 ES350 for $429 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz, the official luxury automobile of the New York Football Giants. Giants went down to Washington, and Shepard had 9 receptions for 94 yards. He's addressing the media now.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough one. I mean, you give it your all, you fight. And it comes down to the tail end. You see that first one miss, and then you see those flags. It's not a fun feeling at all, but, we got to get back in there. We got to go to work, man. And that's the bottom line.
What did you see on that third down pass to you on the previous drive?
It was a look. Daniel had to put it on my back shoulder. I feel like I can come up with those catches. Something I pride myself on is making hard catches, man. So, if I would have got the first, who knows? But, I gotta make those plays.
Would you like to have been a little more aggressive in that spot? You guys ran it the first 2 plays.
No, I mean, we're going to run what's called. I have total faith in JG and whatever he calls, and I got faith in my guys that we're going to make it work. So, I'm happy with the way the game was called. It comes down to execution.
Under Joe Judge, you guys have talked a lot about discipline and attention to detail and things like that, and there were a lot of mistakes and inopportune moments tonight, penalties. things like that. Like, I mean, you're a leader on this team. Like, how do you explain that, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, we got to get in the film room. We got to go to work or practice, and that's what it comes down to. Everybody in the league is good. I mean, everybody's talented, has talented players. It comes down to the small details, and obviously we didn't get those done today, and it's something that we got to go back to the drawing board and get corrected. I mean, you gotta fix things fast in this league. If you don't, then they'll get exposed and they'll keep happening.
That sound from Giants wide receiver Sterling Shepard was brought to you by Ford. And Shaun, we saw Shep, making plays out there. He says he prides himself on making hard catches. Daniel Jones was spreading the ball around, though, a little bit tonight.
Yeah, he really was. And I think for Daniel Jones, he loves going to Sterling because Sterling does a great job creating space. And every single time, doesn't matter the route. If it's a deep comeback, if it's an in cut, if it's a slant, he always seems to give his quarterback room to throw the football. And with the game on the line, 3rd down, they're talking about that throw. When the quarterback is coming to you with the game on the line, you know he trusts you. You know that he trusts that you're going to run the route and be where you're supposed to be and come down with the catch, and it just didn't work out tonight. But the faith and the relationship between Daniel Jones and all of his receivers and all of his weapons, you could see it really come to life as the game wore on. They went out and scored a touchdown in the first drive, but then in the second half, it seemed like Daniel Jones kind of settled in the pocket, had a little more time, and he started to carve the defense up a little bit.
Yeah, and his placement, he was getting more comfortable with it as well. But, in the acquisition of Kenny Golladay in this offseason, Sterling Shepard gets to kind of slide back into that slot role, which is where he really thrives. And also, we've seen just the creativity and the route running, the stop and the starts, and just how crafty he can be with that. And that's that veteran move, right? He's the most tenured Giants player on this roster, and it really shows out there.
Yeah, and Sterling, he's very physical. He knows how to use his body and get away with it, not get penalties. He's really strong with his hands, and I think when you put him in the slot, usually when you're in the slot as a receiver, you're going up against their 3rd best corner because they got the 2 best ones on the outside. That's where he's made a lot of plays, a lot of yardage. Look, he's the Giants' leading receiver right now, and it's for a reason. And I think he's just going to continue to get better. His whole thing has just been, can I stay healthy? And no doubt about it, I think he right now is the Giants' most dynamic offensive weapon.
He's got a lot of offensive yardage so far, 2 games, and he's had almost 200 yards or over 200 yards so far on the season. All right, we got more to come on the show. We're going to hear from Saquon Barkley. That and much more on Giants Postgame Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz, the official luxury automobile of the New York Football Giants. We'll be right back.
It's a wish list on wheels. A choice that requires no explanation. It's where safe and daring seamlessly intersect. It's understated, yet over-delivers. It is truly the Mercedes-Benz of sports sedans. Lease the 2021 C300 sedan for just $449 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer.
All right, team, time to bet NFL games. Confidence.
I'm feeling a parlay with more legs than a spider.
So 9 legs?
Roll the dice, baby.
Indecision?
We pick one home favorite. I abstain.
You can't abstain.
Boring! 6-leg parlay, 2 home dogs, all hitting the over. Boom!
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and feel the NFL action like never before.
One thing we know for sure is things are always changing. So there are still reasons you may need COVID-19 testing. And Quest has options for the whole family, available at no cost to you. Simply schedule a test online for a nearby location and get your test results back as soon as the next day. Millions of people like you have trusted Quest for their COVID-19 testing. So schedule your test today at questcovid19.com. That's questcovid19.com.
When 2 forces of nature collide, you get the perfect storm. Fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. Anthony Joshua versus Alexander Usyk. Saturday afternoon, September 25th. Only on DAZN.
It's been a tough year for all of us, but NYC is here for you with mental health for all. Now is the time to get help, support, and 24/7 counseling. As our city is coming back, we're here to help you fully recover. Connect to Care today. For free and confidential help, call 1-888-NYC-WELL or visit mentalhealthforall.nyc.gov.
Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz, the official luxury automobile of the New York Football Giants. Shaun, we've seen a lot of success tonight from the kicker, Gano, connecting on some long field goals, 35 consecutive field goals for this franchise. That's a record. He just does not miss.
It's amazing. The guy's locked in, and some of those 53 and 55 yarders, he knew it as soon as he kicked the ball. And he was looking down at his holder. He was shaking his hand. He thumped it. Super confidence. You can see right here. He kicks it. Boom. Right now he knows. All right. The ball's not even through the uprights. He's kind of doing like his Tiger Woods walk towards the hole. The ball's going in. But when you have that kind of a record, you can't just say it's the kicker. The battery, all right? The snapper, the holder, and the kicker. That's what we call the battery. All three of them have to work in concert. The snap operation has to be clean, it has to be good, and they've done a great job for Graham.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a well-oiled machine, right? Being able to get the ball snapped in the right position, held in the right way, laces out, all that stuff. And if one part is off, it's all off.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I was a long snapper in college, and it's all about placement. It's all about accuracy. And if you have a great holder, he can make up for any kind of slippage that you may have or any kind of errant snaps. But for Graham Gano to be so locked in and to do it on the road like that, you know, look, sometimes your plant foot's not always secure if you're on the grassy field. It did rain earlier today, so that field had some wetness to it, some moisture. So for him to go out there and be able to handle the wind and do all that, it's pretty impressive.
A true pro, another true pro captain, or a pro bowler last season, James Bradberry, is talking to the media now.
They're a good offense, you know, they got weapons. It's hard to, you know, just have a standstill against an offense that has weapons. You know, they're going to move the ball down the field sometimes. Like I said, I got to go back and watch film and then make the corrections.
Just on a macro level, though, I mean, you know that what happened, obviously. So how disappointing is it for that to have happened?
It's very disappointing. You know, you would like to close this one out and get a win, but obviously it didn't work that way.
James, when you make that interception there, I know you focus on your defense, but wouldn't you rather your offense go for a kill shot there rather than take 3 points and give them the ball back?
I just worry about myself, to be honest with you. I really don't try to have too much thought on the offense and what they do, because at the end of the day, I can't control it. You know, I don't make any play calls. I play corner. That's what they asked me to do, and that's what I do.
That's what they asked me to do. That's what I do. A true professional, James Bradberry. He's out there, you know, making plays. And, you know, after week one, he said, he admitted, you know what, I didn't play as well as I wanted to. This defense didn't play as well as we wanted to. You know, coming out tonight, there were some moments that I'm sure he would want back, but that was a big play as well, that interception. Yeah, it was a huge play, and it was great recognition from James Bradberry to see the route, to see where Terry McLaurin was sitting down, and to drive on it. Look, James Bradberry's finally getting the recognition he deserves. He has been covering the other team's #1 receiver his entire career. He did it in Carolina. He's done it now with the Giants. And look, last year, second in the league in pass breakups. The guy's phenomenal. He's got a great set of skills. It was a tough battle tonight. Terry McLaurin from the Washington football team, he was a big challenge. He's a very speedy guy. He's got great acceleration. And James Bradberry did not shy away. He had another couple of plays in there where it looked like he was going to get his hand in and knock the ball down. Just didn't work out like that. But defensively, when you're going up against a guy like Taylor Heineke, who you don't really have a lot of film on. Yeah, he played in the playoff game last year, but on a short week, there's not a lot of material there to pour over and to study and to try to figure out, all right, this is what this guy loves to throw. These are the routes that he likes. This is how he drives the football. So there's not a whole lot of intel in there. You just kind of have to learn it as the game goes along. And the defense, I thought there were times where they played really well, but there were also times where it seemed like they weren't playing as much man coverage as they had previously. They were pretty deep and pretty far off, right?
Yeah, a lot of soft zones, which you saw, you know, usually you see at the end of the half or, you know, on 3rd and long, but it seemed like there was a lot of cushions, which was, a lot of it was a respect for the speed of McLaurin.
Absolutely. All right, we got a lot more coming up on the show. We're going to wrap this up pretty soon. Stay with us as we continue here on Giants Postgame Live, presented by Mercedes-Benz, the official luxury automobile of the New York Football Giants.
Every Every day, nearly 2 million customers across New Jersey rely on PSE&G to provide natural gas. And every day, PSE&G is committed to doing it safely. That includes making sure you know what to do if you smell gas. A natural gas leak smells like rotten eggs. If you suspect a gas leak, leave your home immediately. Get far away, then call 911. Remember, smell, leave, call. Protect the ones you love. Learn more at pseg.com/gas safety.
When you're hungry, you're not going to let 5,000 feet of mountain get in your way. And if it tries, that's what our lineup of exceptionally capable all-wheel drive SUVs is for. After all, we take this pretty seriously. The SUVs and the dinner.
Get the official New York Giants checking account only from Investors Bank. Get a 20% discount online at the Giants shop. Cell phone and ID theft protection. Plus, you can earn up to $250.
At Finger Hut, we don't define you by your credit score. We celebrate you being you. So we offer low monthly payments on the stuff you need, things you love, and brands you trust. As you build your credit history with a Finger Hut credit account. If you're looking for the latest electronics, kitchen essentials, clothes, toys, and more, you'll find it all at Finger Hut. You do you, and we'll help build your credit at fingerhut.com.
Finger Hut credit accounts are issued by WebBank, member FDIC.
Welcome back to Giants Postgame Live. This one's in the books. The next one is on the calendar. Sunday, September 26th. Giants are back at MetLife Stadium to host the Atlanta Falcons with a 1 p.m. kickoff. Shaun, excited to get back on this field. These guys have a lot to work through, and they're ready to get back out there and prove what they have.
Yeah, as a player, Madelyn, 10 days, that's a long time to simmer on a loss, but no doubt they'll be ready for the Dirty Birds. And, of course, it's going to be a very special event because not only is it the Giants taking on the Atlanta Falcons, the New York Giants are retiring the number 10 jersey in honor of Eli Manning, so it's going to be a special night.
They're retiring his jersey and inducting him into the Ring of Honor. It's going to be a lot of Eli all night. Your guy right there, how much does this mean to him?
Well, I know he's looking forward to it. His family's going to be there. His immediate family, his parents, all his friends, family, relatives, teammates will be there supporting him. And it's pretty ironic. Eli's first start in the NFL came against the Atlanta Falcons. So life is all about circles, Madelyn.
It's almost like they planned it that way. It's almost like they did it on purpose. Hopefully this Giants team can go out there, get right. Do you have a point of emphasis for this Giants team going into Week 3? Well,
the miscues have got to stop. They can't. They're not going to win many football games with 11 penalties. Certainly not when they're crucial down in the red zone. The pre-snap false start penalties, that can't happen. And look, in order to win a football game, you can't beat yourself first.
Absolutely. You got to clean it up. They got a lot of time to get back in the lab, get back out on the practice field and do that. And one more note as well, as we mentioned earlier in the show, Nick Gates was carted off the field. He will remain overnight in Washington at the hospital. He'll have surgery in the morning to repair that broken lower leg injury. Wishing
luck,
Nick Gates all the best, a happy, healthy recovery for Nick, and he's going to be a pivotal part of this Giants team, I'm sure, going forward. Thanks for hanging out with Shaun O'Hara. I'm Madelyn Burke. This has been Giants Postgame Live. We'll see you next week.